For most of us, when the coronavirus began spreading, we began fighting to stay healthy and alive. Now, this is true for many small businesses and the cities and towns that depend on them. Tonight, we begin a special three-part report, Saving Albert Lea. Now, we decided to use Albert Lea, Minnesota, as an example of one city that tried to use all the tools in the toolbox to make it through one of the toughest times in history. Tonight, we're going to hear from the local officials, and then tomorrow and Wednesday, ABC 6 News reporter Rachel Mills will talk to some of the key small businesses. So, let's get started. The new water tower is the tallest structure in Albert Lea, and about 18,000 people live in the neighborhoods around it. It's their home around the lake, in the neighborhoods, at the strip malls, and in downtown Albert Lea. So, when the pandemic and the governor's emergency orders shut nearly everything down, it really hurt.
I don't think it was all necessary. I always struggle with the fact that we can have thousands of people going into the local Walmart every day, but you can't have 3 people in the local shoe store or the local dress shop.
But it was the law, and the leaders of Albert Lea knew they had to find a way to save as many small businesses as they could for the sake of the community. And that's why Phillip Johnson started asking questions, lots of them.
Honestly, I didn't expect to see positive results.
He leads the local redevelopment agency, and he kept surveying Albert Lea's business owners. He used their desperate answers to ask for and get more state and federal money. And the information in the survey also helped him understand the pain.
I think it's just overwhelming to see how many people are in it, and again, emotionally looking at the amount of people who are still in the spot of just kind of survive. I just think that's extraordinarily difficult.
Aren't we all, though, in that?
Yes.
Whether we have a business or not right now, we're all just trying to survive.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think, and the way I've explained it to people, I think it's double for them.
The last survey done by the Albert Lea Redevelopment Agency revealed roughly 60% of the small business owners said they needed between $5,000 and $20,000 in just the first quarter of this year if they were going to survive. Money for rent and to pay employees or to set up an internet business option. Dollars just to stay alive. So far, the agency's given out just under $2 million in grant money. Do you think it has saved Albert Lea?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. There's a lot of businesses that would have gone under if it weren't for that.
Sherry Jensen is the new leader of the Albert Lea Chamber of Commerce. When she took a walk down Broadway past the struggling businesses, she realized she didn't have a pot of money to throw at them, so she became a trained mental health counselor to help the business owners emotionally during their fight to stay alive.
They don't want to leave. You know,
yeah.
It's like they've been hit hard.
Nobody wants to let this pandemic get them, do they?
No, nobody wants to leave. Nobody wants to close their doors. Nobody wants to wear masks, but we've got to do what we've got to do.
Albert Lea City Councilor Rich Murray believes his city should never have been put in this position in the first place. He blames Governor Tim Walz and the state legislators who he says let it happen by allowing the governor to lock down small businesses twice. He says they never asked for input. And Albert Lea knows what's best for Albert Lea and the people here.
I don't know why legislators, both in the House and the Senate here, aren't just all of them screaming of, we want to be participants in this discussion.
Rather than the executive orders and the pandemic emergencies.
You have Governor Walz and 4 or 5 other people making all the rules for the whole state. I'm sorry, St. Paul and Minneapolis are different than Albert Lea. Way different.
But, as they say, that horse has already left the barn. The shutdowns were real, and they really hurt the stores in the Albert Lea strip malls and on Broadway downtown. Some of the owners ended up in front of Mark Heineman, the local president of Arcadian Bank. What are they asking for?
A lot of them, to start with, were asking, what do you suggest we do? How long is this going to last? What's going to happen? And a lot of those answers we don't know.
He says his bank has handed out nearly $29 million so far to Albert Lea small businesses funded by federal and state programs. It's the money, he says, that's saving Albert Lea.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
So the tools in the toolbox are money, information, compassion, and community. That's what they're using to save Albert Lea during this pandemic.
Eventually, we have to get back to the normality that we were in to make sure these businesses can start running like they used to run.
These small businesses are really, really critical to a little town like Albert Lea. We've got to keep every single one going. Every single one of them is important to us.
Now, one more thing. All of them say, in all of this, there's a silver lining. They say the people of Albert Lea now recognize the importance of shopping locally, supporting the local businesses who are still struggling to stay alive. It's a lesson, they say, that's going to make the city stronger when the virus is gone. Now, tomorrow night, ABC 6 News reporter Rachel Mills begins her part of the story, and she'll be talking with Albert Lea businesses about this past year and their struggles to stay alive. Saving Albert Lea, it continues tomorrow night right here at 10.